Hi everyone! It's Rose and today a new video. If you have to know one thing about me, I'm really good at fainting. Because I don't usually faint a lot, but when I faint, I faint really badly and on situations that are kind of that was cringe. That was really cringe. So I'm gonna tell you stories about me fainting. I chose like three of them. All of them are like kind of. I don't really like faint easily, but all of these stories are like kind of crazy. So first one, when I was little like this. This is the first time that I remember me fainting in real life. Oh shit. Okay, anyway, so first ever time that I fainted. So I was like I really don't remember my age, but I would be like between 8 years old and 9 years old, maybe. I think I was this age. I was like in primary school, and at that time I played flute. It's been a while that I played flute because I started when I was like 6 years old, and I still have it right here. The proof, the one and only 10-carat gold labubu. Anyway, so I played flute, and it happens that the teacher knew that I played flute, and he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to play it for like the I don't know if we only have this in France. Like at the end of the scholar year, we have like this kind of little kid show. Like we dance and we sing. No, we only dance, do some theater and everything." Show like the parents like what we did this year. And so he was like, "Okay, I'm gonna in my like small like show that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna need you to play some music." And I was like, "Okay." I'm 100% sure that it was like random, and I was like playing random notes that weren't making any sense. But anyway, so it was like the end of springtime, the beginning of summer. So we were kind of like rehearsing, can we say that, the everything that we wanted to do. And he said, "Okay, can you play flute during the as like some kids are doing their little like dances and everything." So I started to play, and I remember it was really hot that day. And when you need a lot of like breath control, and like you use a lot of air to play flute. And so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm feeling a little dizzy and everything, And so I remember like my vision started to blur and everything, and I remember I said, "Aled," Aled, with the smallest voice you could ever heard on earth. I was like, "Aled," and then I just fainted. And I remember seeing this, so it was like all my vision, peripheral, can we say this? Vision like was blurred, like dark, and I saw my teacher coming from up from here. So I was probably on the floor. So one of my teacher like comes up to me, and I remember like seeing her doing like this all over my vision. And yeah, I was really like, I don't know, I was high at that moment. Anyway, and so I just remember like waking up. I was on the dang concrete on a chair, like they put a chair on the concrete on the in the sun, like with nothing above me, like to be like away from the sun and everything. And I was next to a teacher that I didn't know. You don't usually, when someone faints, you don't put that person out there in the sun on the concrete. So I was like really, as I remember this story, I was like, um whose idea was that? Did they want me to like be dead or something? I don't know. So that was my first story, but the next two are much crazier, like real business, real business. So the second story, I called it feet, or bare feet. If you have to know one thing, like I'm okay with feet. Like I don't, because some people have like this, I don't know how you call this, like the fear of feet. how you call that? So they fear feet. I don't, but I fear like human body. Like it kind of disgusts me sometimes. Like especially blood and skin. Every time I remember we have organs, I'm like freaking out and I'm like, oh, I have this weird sensation of like here. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling really bad as if I'm gonna faint every time I see blood or anything. People that I know this feeling. So I was in high school. I was probably 16 years old or 17 maximum. So I was doing theater, and there was this like week in high school where it was called Week of Arts, and like every like for example theater kids like me, like we do like we present our little like piece to everyone. For our arts kids, they'd be like, oh, I'm gonna show you what I painted and everything. And so we had this kind of very very big rehearsals where all the theater classes like um rehearse in front of every other theater classes. So we were like maybe, I don't know, less than 10 classes. Honestly, I don't remember. So one of the classes comes on stage, and I don't know, I was maybe feeling a little sick because I see them like bare feet on the floor, and I was like, oh, that disgusts me a lot. I I don't know why. This day I was like, ew. So it was just so you know, it was in this like amphitheater like classroom. So it was like this, and we had all desks in front of us. So I had a desk in front of me, and I saw like really down there the stage where people had like their feet bare feet on the floor. So they were all like walking on the floor, and I was like, oh, it disgusts me, but like really bad. And I started to feel this feeling when like when I see blood, but here it was with feet. I've never experienced that. I was like, okay, I had two of my friends each side, and I was like, people, I'm not feeling well. Like I, I'm feeling like kind of sick, and they were like, then like go to the bathroom, and I was like, no, don't worry, don't worry. I clearly needed to do this, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna worry. And I see their feet like on the floor. I really like remember the sensation of looking at their skin, like kind of sticky on the floor. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, and I fainted on the desk, like this, not like really like. And I was so bad, and no, I didn't even faint. I was just on the desk, sort of desk, on it, and I was like, okay, I'm feeling really bad. What do I do? I cannot like move. I'm just like here, and then I fainted, and I remember I was like asleep like faint. I faint for like maybe 10 minutes. That's long. 10 minutes. It's really long. And so I was on the desk, and as I wake up, there was this sort of like lake of like sweat. Oh, that is disgusting. Digital footprint. Anyway, so as I wake up on the desk, there was this huge like lake of sweat coming from my face, and I was like, ah, and I felt like so like out of this world. I was like high. I was up there, up there. Yeah. I was like, guys, I fainted. Like, look at my desk. There was, when I say there were a lot of water, of sweat, I'm not exaggerating, like literally. And both of my friends went like, and I said, literally, did you think that for 10 minutes I was asleep? No, something was really bad. And I thought that I was pranking them for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Please explain it to me. Like, they didn't even bother to, like, be like, oh shit, maybe we need to help this bro because he's like. Because I really felt like this on the desk, and they were like, fine, okay, he's pranking us. No! I was dying. And so then I don't remember what I did. I just remember going to the bathroom, and I remember seeing my face. I was like all sweaty and like sweaty armpits. Disgusting. Because I had to, I remember it was in the morning, so I had to do the whole day like this. But yeah, that's it. All forfeit. Next story. So the next story, I call it like High in the Cinema, and that's with the same friend group, but with different persons of the friend group. So everybody has like kind of story time with me fainting. I don't faint a lot, but I don't know why. Every time I faint, it's like a huge deal. So we were in the cinema, and if I remember well, I remember 100% which film we were, a movie we were watching. It's called like Le Règne Animal. I'm gonna put it here. So it's basically it's like people transforming into animals. It's a dystopia, I guess. I didn't end the movie as you could expect. We start to watch the show and everything, and there are some scenes where there are some blood because humans that transform into animals in this movie like attack like humans, and so at some point I was like, ugh, oh, so there is blood, and every time I see pain on faces, I'm like really feeling bad because I'm a good person. Not like anyway. So every time I see like people suffering, I'm like, oh, this is the end. I need to suffer like them. This is so strange. I know, but people that understand. So I was watching the show, and at one point, the main character starts to transform into a lion. Why not? Okay. And so he has these like claws like coming out of his like off the tip of his fingers, and as soon as he realizes that, he's like freaking out, and like everyday human being, I guess, he took like this clipper and like starts to the claws, like he, I don't know how you say it, but like removes it, but very violently, and there is like this huge blood, and he's like pain on his face, and I was like, and I was like, I was freaking out. I was like, oh gosh, people are suffering. I hate that. I hate that. And so I was like, okay, I might not end the movie. So I remember like thinking, maybe I should like bend down, like quit and totally like quit the cinema because I know it's not gonna end well for me. But I didn't listen. And then there is another scene that I don't remember because I was already starting to feel like a little dizzy. But apparently, thanks to my friends, there were like rats, and like they were eating rats. I don't remember, honestly, I don't remember. But there is a scene like very violent, and I was like, okay, this is the end. I faint. No, this is not the way I fainted because I remember the way I fainted, and once again I was like this. I literally like my face like just dropped. I was like starting to see colors and everything, like mandalas of colors. I see purple, blue, yellow, and for me I was like in the void like during hours and hours. It lasted 2 seconds, thanks to my friends once again, like that noticed, for like they noticed that I fainted. And for me, like I was really high, like I remember the sensation. I was like up there, like I was really like this, as if I was in this part of my head. And I wake up like very violently, and I'm like, I need to run out of like the cinema because I'm feeling like really sick. So I start to like to walk, and I start to like, I'm gonna show you. So I just like stand up, and I started to walk out of the room, like the projecting room. And as I like walk, I start to like like this towards, and oh, I need to do a little drawing because it's hard to understand. But So here is the drawing. So I was like here, and I remember I had to walk here out of the cinema, and so here. And once you enter like this little like hole like room, you cannot re-enter like the projecting room, and you just have to quit. And like this is the outside, like the real world. And so I was in this like kind of room, like it's like kind of a hole, kind of. And so I was alone, and I walk there, and I'm like, okay, I just need to lay on the floor, and everyone walks on that floor. It's like this type of floor that is really dirty, but I was like, I'm gonna die, so I don't really care about being dirty anymore. So I'm laying down in this room. Anyway, oh, that is really disgusting because you didn't see the room, but the room is really, really disgusting. And so I'm just laying down for like maybe 1 minute, not even like seconds. And one of my friends comes in the room and she's like, "Are you okay? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, explain it to me." And I was like, "Don't worry, it's because I saw blood. Like, it happened to me before." And she was like, "Okay, I just like speak with her like for like maybe 5 minutes." And she was like, so do I need to call your parents or anything? And I said, no, don't worry, I called them and everything will be okay. You can go to the, you can continue to watch the movie. And she was like, but the door is closed, so I cannot re-enter like the projecting room. And thankfully, I just realized now, like, she's really intelligent because she took her like one of her cards. I don't think it was her ID. It was more of her like, how do you call that? Black card? Maybe not. Put the word here, and so she like puts like the black cards in like the door. I'm just show you how she did that. She likes with the like she do like this. Like I don't know how she did it because like the cinema door, it's like really secure and protected, but I guess that not so much. I don't know how. Anyway, so she re-enters the room and I'm like, oh, I'm feeling bad. And I laid there for like till the end of the movie. And when I like heard that it was the end of the movie, so I waited like on the floor for about 1 hour. And once like I heard like people like clapping, or I don't remember, but I guess I understood that it was the end of the movie. It was like, let's go. I'm gonna like stand up and pretend like nothing is happened, like everything is fine. And people still mock me. Like the people of my friend group like still mock me for this because they were like, every time we go to cinema, they're like, "Ah, don't faint, don't worry, like everything's gonna be fine." And I'm like, and I have a bonus story. So this story is really short. I was like maybe, yeah, the same age, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old maximum. And I remember we were talking about bacteria like in our body in school. And I was like, oh, so we have organs. I don't know why it made me like freaked out. I was like freaking out. I was like, can I go out of the classroom? I'm feeling a little and before anyone asks, I'm the first one. I don't know how I produced that sound. I don't know how it came out of me. It's so disturbing to me to see me act on video because I realized how bizarre I am. So if you're watching this video, I'm really sorry for you. The teacher was like, okay, go to like into the corridor. So I got into the corridor and I'm like, I might just faint. And I faint on the floor, and I remember I fainted for like maybe 10 minutes and nobody like realized it. So I just like stand up, realized that I fainted, re-entered the classroom as nothing happened, and yeah, no one realized it. As I like on my stories, I really realized that people really don't know how to act when someone faints. Anyway, so yeah, I usually faint for nothing every time, like, we... Now I'm less, like, sensitive of, like, body and everything, but when I used to be, like, very freaked out easily whenever we talked about, like, veins and everything, I was like... But now everything's better. I'm getting to therapy and everything. Anyway, so that's the end of the video. Bye. I hope you liked it. Subscribe, enjoy, like... No. Yeah. Go.